Hey everyone, I'm Jake Cohen, editorial director here at Feed, and today we are going to show you everything you should do with your Thanksgiving leftovers with our friends at Nordic Ware. We are using their beautiful new divided sauce and saute pans to show you how to make the Thanksgiving brunch bowl of your dreams. Why don't you come in and we will show you all the things we have left over, what we're adding on, and how we're going to build this epic brunch bowl. The base of this dish is going to be leftover sweet potato casserole turned into luscious grits with leftover turkey gravy. Then cranberry sauce with some orange juice for a little bit of sweetness and tang, some leftover spinach from our Thanksgiving salad that we're gonna wilt down, and finally, some fried eggs on top. So this recipe is all about doing multiple things at the same time. We're going to crank out this dish so quickly because of the fact that we have divided pans. So the only thing that I actually have to chop is half an onion. All right, let's just finally chop a yellow onion. To get started, we're going to make our sweet potato grits. In one of these sections of our 2-in-1 divided saucepan, I'm going to heat up some milk. Meanwhile, in our other section, I'm going to melt 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're going to get going on our turkey gravy. To the butter, we are going to cook down the onion we chopped up just to soften. Take a look at the onions. The milk is almost there. Once it's to a very low simmer and the onions are soft, we're going to move on to the next step. I'm going to tell you, you have to follow closely because we are doing multiple things at once. This is the perfect recipe for someone who can really multitask in the kitchen. Our onions are softened, so I'm going to stir in 2 tablespoons of flour and make a roux. What this is, a classic French thickening agent, and going to be the base of our gravy. Just going to cook it for a minute or two just to kind of get out that raw flour taste. If you have finished gravy from your Thanksgiving feast, you can totally mix that in. That being said, I want kind of that breakfasty sausage gravy feel with turkey. So that's why I want the base to be milk, and then you can add in however much gravy you have left over from your feast. Meanwhile, I'm going to add my instant grits to my milk. And we are just going to stir and stir. And we're going to go back and forth because once this is nice and incorporated, we're going to start to add in our milk for our gravy. Our grits are in, simmering, low and slow. Let that get nice and thick. Meanwhile, we're going to add in a cup of milk into our roux, and this is what's going to create that creamy gravy. I'm going to add in a little bit at a time. Got to multitask. As you can see, our gravy is getting nice and thick. Gonna go for probably another minute. Same with our grits. I'm using instant grits so that the gravy and the grits cook simultaneously and will be ready at the same time. So it's only gonna take about 5 minutes for this all to come together, and now here's where we distinguish it by adding in our Thanksgiving leftovers to reheat. To the grits, 1 cup of leftover sweet potato casserole, and to the gravy, I'm going to add in 1 cup of turkey. Now let both of these warm through. Keep it warm while we cook up the rest of our bowls. We have our finished grits and gravy. I'm going to keep this warm, and now we're going to make everything else to go on top of these brunch bowls. In our 3-in-1 divided saute pan, we're going to get everything else ready for these bowls, which includes a few of my tips for using up leftovers. In one of the small sections, we're going to add half a cup of leftover cranberry sauce, as well as 2 tablespoons of orange juice just to thin it out. We want this to be the acid and sweetness to this dish without being cloyingly overpowerful. To the other 2 sections, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of olive oil to each. To the small section, I'm going to throw in half a cup of baby spinach. This could be leftover from your Thanksgiving salad. Another thing I want to say is a lot of people never know what to do with leftover dressed salad. So like, let's say your guests did not finish your Thanksgiving salad, save it, and then you can wilt it down for a dish like this. Really great way to kind of use up leftovers without throwing out wilted salad. And then to the final large section, I'm just going to crack in 2 eggs. season this all up with a little salt, pepper. Since everything is cooking at the same time, it's all ready in only about 2 to 3 minutes. Just like that, a Thanksgiving leftover recreation is done so quickly thanks to our Nordic Ware divided sauce and sauté pans. All that's left is to plate it up and dig in. Not to mention that cleanup will be a breeze since we only use 2 pans. That is so good. I love Thanksgiving leftovers, but there is nothing better than taking them and transforming them into an equally delicious meal as your feast from the night before. This is the perfect brunch for just you and someone else, a few friends, anyone you have visiting from out of town. Honestly, it comes together in no time. After you probably spent a lot of time preparing that Thanksgiving feast, breakfast the next day should be super easy, and this recipe is thanks to Nordic Ware's 2-in-1 divided saucepan and 3-in-1 divided sauté pan. To get the full recipe, you can go to thefeedfeed.com, and we will see you next time. Happy holidays.